Welcome back, AMS. It's me, Mr. B, once again with the final piece of your roller coaster, and that is the funnel. So this is what the funnel looks like. Yes, this one will take you a long time to cut. You got to cut out every single piece, especially these teeth right here. So first things first, you make sure you want to score this. Score it before you start cutting it, because once you do, it becomes very difficult to score after all these little pieces are cut. Okay, so to save some time, I already cut these out. Here's the round part for the funnel. Here is the long wall side. Notice that I cut these out, and I cut out every single part in the middle too. Those need to be cut out. And then I have the other piece as well. And then I have the little flap. Don't forget that this one has a little funnel flap. It's just this little tiny flap, and I'll show you how to put it on there. And then the short piece. Now you notice I left these on purpose because I wanted just to show you how to cut those out. So let's go to the cutting board and show you how that is going to work. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to our cutting board. So we want to make sure that every one of these pieces is cut out. So definitely want to use the inside of the scissors to do that. Okay, so you want to cut out each individual little piece, and sometimes they get stuck as well. You just grab them and you pull them out. There you go. So you're going to cut out each one, and remember to score it. I did not score this one, so I'm going to have to score it. Show you how to do that without, if you forget. But the best thing to do is don't forget, and make sure that you are able to score it before you start cutting it, because it is harder to do after it's cut. Okay, so now we have it cut out, but I forgot to score it, so I need to do that before we go any further. I'm going to go ahead and take that once again. Now, if you forget, try to be very careful. You can still do this. You don't need another piece. You can still do this, but you're going to have to just do it individually. So as you go through it, you're going to have to just try to eat each piece by itself. Because it's going to be a little bumpy. So there we go. Now we're able to score it. So now we can put it together. So the first thing I want to do is fold all these individual pieces down just like that, because we want to again make sure that the writing is on the outside. So we got to make sure that all of our pieces are folded in. Same goes with this long piece. The same thing, you're going to fold each piece inward, so it's a lot easier once it's scored. It seems like it takes a long time, but it doesn't really. There we go. So that one's cutting or moved in as well. And then we have the last piece. Remember, there's 3 of these. This last piece, it looks like a giant key, kind of. Okay, so this one also needs to be, these 3 smaller ones need to be pushed in as well. Okay, and then we also want to definitely score or fold these 2 pieces in, because that is where the marble is going to be flowing. Okay, so fold it, and it's going to end up looking like that. So you have where the marble's going to run to, and then these things are going to be kind of just on the end here, on the inside. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this together. What we want to do first is start by taping them. So we're going to take the bottom part and we're going to tape them underneath here. Okay, so we're going to definitely take this. I'm going to bring my camera up a little bit, and we want to just go underneath it. Okay, so here's the top part. Oh, we forgot to do one thing. So before we do any of that, we need to cut this circle out, and then this tiny circle as well. Okay, so we're going to be moving that in. So we're going to go all the way here and then cut this smaller circle out. Okay, and there we go. So we have the piece that's cut out now. So before we do any of this, we're going to have to put these together. So all you do here is you match up the arrows on top of the gray space. So we're just going to put these together. And once the arrows are matched up, okay, we have them matched up there, we want to go ahead and tape that on the back side. And make sure it's enough tape so that it won't move. This is the part where the marble is going to fall at the very, very end of your roller coaster. This is like the conclusion. So we're going to put some tape and flap it over there, just like that. And we should be good. It should hold, so it should look like that. Now we can go ahead and put in this small piece. So it's kind of got like a flying saucer shape to it. Okay. And so now we want to go ahead. It doesn't matter where you start with these. As long as you get them down. So we're going to go ahead and flip this over so I can kind of show you. I want to kind of hold it with my finger here and begin to tape these together. And as I'm taping them, I want to make sure I'm rolling it, okay? So as I'm taping it, I'm rolling it on there to make sure that all the pieces get on there correctly. So as I'm going to be moving it around. All right, so get this next part on. I'll show you once again as you're holding it down. Make sure those pieces are on there, and then you want to just go ahead and tape them down. One second. There we go. And just keep on going. Okay, so we got that first piece on. Should look something like this. Just make sure you have all the pieces taped on and it's all the way around. Okay, so it's almost like a half disc. So we're going to go ahead and continue putting the same thing on with a smaller one. We're going to kind of where we left off, we're going to go ahead and add that piece right there. Actually, before we add that final small piece, we want to do the entrance. So we're just going to pick a spot. In this case, we'll just put it right here. And we're going to go underneath and add the tape to there. So underneath, hold it down, tape it on there. And then you want to make sure that it rolls around enough so that this part is connected to it, okay? So that's where the marble is going to run into. And then we want to go ahead and tape that down as well. Let's take another piece of tape. And right here, right at the bottom, just like that. Notice that mine's up a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and push it in there. Here we go. Sometimes you got to play with these things just a little bit to get them just right. Notice that my side is open here, so we want to definitely fix that right now by putting some tape and joining those two pieces together. Okay, so there we go. We have the funnel part. The marble's going to come down. It's going to be rolling around. The last piece we need to put on is this one right here, and this is why we want to save this one for last. Very important that you save the smallest one for last, because you want to now, you can adjust it to where it needs to go, and if it needs to go over a little bit, like mine is going to go over just a little bit, at least I know it's going to fit, and I'm not going to have some wide space open. Okay, so found a good spot for it. Go ahead and tape that down. And we're just going to go all the way around. Okay, looks like we are done. We finally got that last funnel piece in, and so now it should be able to run. We just forgot one small part, and that is the flap. And the reason why you want the flap is because it slows down the marble, because if you didn't, the marble would run. Sometimes it would roll out because it's coming down so fast. So the flap actually adds to, it slows it down a little bit. So the way you put the flap on is you can tape it on here, and you want to make sure that the flap is connected so that you want it to hold it, you want it to be on the inside, or where the short part of this is. This is where you want to put the flap. Okay, so just like that, and we're going to tape it on there. And so there we go. Here's the final piece. This is what it would look like when the marble runs through. The marble's going to run down. It's going to go through that flap, and that way it'll continue spinning. When it tries to get out, it can't, because now that flap is there kind of protecting the way out. Okay, so this is that final piece. Now if yours is open, mine is actually open at the very bottom. If you need to, just add a piece of tape so it could be smooth, so that when the marble is rolling, it'll roll right over that, and it's not going to be stopping. Okay, so this is how we make our final piece. Hopefully this video is helpful. Can't wait to see the roller coasters when I come back. I'm sure they're going to be great to look at. Do your best, and we'll see you. Take care of yourself.